Hello, in this video I'd like to give a quick presentation of Plazi Synospecies. Maybe first, what is Plazi? Plazi is an organization that collects so-called taxonomical literature about the biodiversity. That is articles that describe new species or rename species or find out that two species are actually the same or a species doesn't really exist. These treatments published in journals are collected by the Plazi organization. They are often scanned, and then the information is extracted to have it in a machine readable format. So you see here there are 355,000 treatments. These are these chunks of information that say something about a species, new species, a new occurrence of a species, information like that. And Plazi makes this data available in many different formats. One of the format is the linked data format RDF. That is a format that allows the data to be collected, connected with the data from other sources, such as Wikidata. Wikidata is a big public database which stores data in this RDF format. So, what is Synospecies? Synospecies aggregates together all these RDF data from these treatments into one big store so that we can run queries against all of these data. So, to get an idea, within Plazi we have some RDF data for each and every one of these treatments, but we cannot get the whole picture. These treatments are downloadable one by one, but we cannot run a query over all of this data. Now, Synospecies allows exactly that. Why Synospecies? Syno is from synonyms, so you get all the synonyms of a species, which is something quite useful if you have to do with biological literature, because it's important to know that two papers are actually talking about the same species, just one paper, what may be 30 years older when that species used to have a different name. So how does it work? It's quite easy. You have a field here to enter species by its normal syntax of genus and species name. So let's take the Sadayoshia edwardsi, look up. Now what we get is the different names, all referring to the same species. We also get here a link to Wikidata, where we find this public information about this species. From it, we see, out of this data, we see that the Dutch Wikipedia version has a page about it, and Wikispecies has a page about these species, but not any other language, it seems. And these are the different name that the species was known by. We see that this name, according to some treatments we have here, and if we follow the link, we get to the Plazi page of that treatment, where we get more information. Here we see that these treatments are deprecating these previous names of the species. Here we see these in a graphical fashion, so we see different names, and we see that they were mentioned in one treatment in 2010. These red circle with a cross means that that name has been deprecated in that treatment, and the blue bullet means that this treatment just mentioned and provides new information about this species. There could also be a defining treatment, but that's often not available. But we just know treatments talking about a species, and so we conclude that that species exists. Here, that's quite small for this species. Other species will have more treatments and more name. Let's take the Tyrannosaurus rex, for example, and so here we have an overview that's worth going full screen for. So since 1906, there are or the oldest treatments in Plazi date back to 1906, and the most recent are from 2020. We see when which name used to be popular. So the most popular name seems to be Tyrannosaurus rex osborn, which has been used during all known history. But in 2019, we had a new name, Tyrannosaurus next person 2019, being used for that species. So let's leave this full screen mode again. Which is not working as it should. Let's go back. Exit full screen. Okay. In Synospecies, we also have an advanced tab where we can directly run queries against the background, against this database aggregating all the RDF data from Plazi, and that's the most simple query. Just get 10 statements from it, which are doesn't help a lot. If we have a more complex query where we got where we get all synonyms for these for the species identified by this URI. So by running this query, we get its 5 synonyms. So this is the technical view. This is for experts running Sparkle query. They can get more answer more complex questions than the one that can be answered using this simple interface shown before. But this simple interface also creates Sparkle queries and interacts with the backend exactly the same way. So this application here is just running in the browser, accessing the Sparkle endpoint provided by the Swiss Confederation, which contains the Plazi data. So thanks for listening, and I hope this gave you an impression what Synospecies is.